Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye, bye, bye. Look, in a menudo style and direct fashion, we're going to get straight into the content of the day. But before we do, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I am kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support. We're going up, and it's all because of you. So, I seen a story, man. Actually, a homegirl of mine tapped in and told me about this, what was going on, right about the same time that I seen this story pop up online. And I was blown away, right? I couldn't believe it. When you know someone and you've known them since they were a kid, and then you see something like this, it makes you be like, shit, bro. So I wanted to tell a few stories and then talk about what actually is going on. So you see the thumbnail, it's a Norteno, an active Norteno who actually got caught up in bed with a local police officer, right? Shit happens. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey, she likes what she likes. That's it. We do what we do, right? So if you can knock one, then you got one. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's going to be a lot of upset officers, though, that are feeling some type of way because they wanted some of them nalgones, right? But it didn't happen that way. That Vato that was out there really doing his thug thizzle, like they say, man, the old saying, the women, they love a bad boy. And this is a perfect case and example of that. But the trippy part of the story and the twist is that I consider this kid like a nephew. I've known him my whole life, right? Or not my whole life, his whole life. Shit, I've been around much longer. I'm a dinosaur, I'm an old head, like they say. So I was with this kid's prima. So he's considered like a nephew, right? Known him since he was running around, little kid, man, all up in the area. And the cool part about it is I was living in Livingston, Livas, which is a part of Merced County, man, right outside of Merced. Very, very active, very dangerous. If you're non-active and you're living in that town, you're probably not going to make it out, walking out. So it was hectic. I've told stories before, man. I had to bob and weave, duck and dodge because at that time, I was non-affiliated. I wasn't a gang member no more, man. But I was just trying to live my life. I had met a chick and she was pregnant. We're doing our thing. And so her family is pretty well known in that area. And he's this kid that's on the thumbnail is a member of her family. So I remember, man, being real cool with his father, being real cool with his mother, and seeing him as a kid running around and seeing the direction he was headed. There was no doubt about it, man. That's one thing about the Central Valle. If your parents are heavily in the game or they're functioning, then more than likely, what you see is what you get. Hey, you, get off my mountain. All they see, these kids growing up, is their parents in the mix, gang banging, or, dressing a certain way. So this guy, the one on the thumbnail, was dressed like a Norteno right from the gate. He had the haircut, the same Norteno haircuts. He was wearing a lot of red. And I don't think he really had a chance, okay? I'm not going to sit here and say you have to do everything your parents are doing or you have to, but you're influenced. Around the time that I met him, he was like maybe 10, 11 years old. So he was becoming influenced. And from a distance, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to get involved in anyone's parenting. That's right off the top. I ain't got nothing to say. But I definitely felt some type of way. Like, wow, man, this kid is put in a position of he's probably not going to make it. And it's not even his fault. But whatever. As he got older, I started to watch and he started to get involved with the homies. And it was already a lost cause. He was already there. Man. He was doing his thing. But, I know in the report that came out about this situation, they tried to say he was a Merced Norteno. That's the city I'm from. And I think somewhere along the line, he did move from Livingston to Merced because his father moved. So he got in the mix out there. There was a lot of cats that were doing that, man. They would move to Merced and then they'd get involved or jumped into gangs, put on barrios in Merced. Not necessarily being homegrown, but that's just the way it is, man. Hey, you're a product of your environment and who you hang out with. If you're hanging out with a gang of homeboys from a certain barrio and you get put on, then that's what you're going to claim, that city, even though you're not really from there. So here's the twist, right? So now it pops up online years later, and I haven't seen this youngster because I haven't been in communication with my ex or nothing like that. So I haven't seen him for years, right? That last I had heard, he had did some time in Pelican Bay. He was really functioning at a high level, meaning that he was active and he was participating. And to each their own, man. I don't knock it. You know, at one point I was doing my thing. So I could see it. I could see it happening. But this kid, he becomes involved in a lot of different things. Okay, and I think drugs and area plays a big part into your life, man. If you're one of those guys who gets on one, right? There's a lot of homies that do. They're not supposed to, but they do. Then it's over. You know, you're all over the fucking place. Now, again, like I say, this kid came from a familia where they didn't have much. They worked for whatever they had, but it wasn't very much, right? So he moved around a lot, and albeit, man, his father is a good, solid homie, tried to do his best for his children. There was only so much you can do. You know, his mother was doing her thing, and I could understand his plight. Just, you know, he was one of those kids right off the top that went out in the streets to seek, you know, not only validation for who he was, but more of canalismo and a family, because at home it wasn't like it was supposed to be. And that's just facts. And it wasn't because his parents were bad gente, because they weren't. I know him very well. It was more so because that's what he chose to do. He wanted to be a little badass on the streets. You're going to get badass results. So anyways, years pass. And this Vato was living here and there. And one night he's on a bike. Now this story is from the inside out. You know, I got some good information, right? This is how he meets the cop. Okay, a young cadet, a new officer. She's only been around for a year or two. You would think that these new cadets, these new officers, are going to strive, right? They're going to do their job to the utmost. But this is one thing I've always said about women. If it's a woman, she's knockable, right? If she's feeling some type of way, she's feeling that type of way. Now, there's no rules against a woman being with whoever she wants. But when you take, you know, that oath to become a police officer, there's certain standards you must abide by or live by. You're looked at in society as the help, someone who's going to be there to bridge that gap between community and officer, someone that's going to be there to help. If you're 911, help me, right? And then she pulls up, and if she's not going out, I'll look, right? Would you look? I'll look, right? So anyways, one night, the little homie is riding a bike. Yes, a bike, okay? He's riding his little bike, mobbing around, and happens to run into her. She pulls him over. For whatever reason, I don't know. Maybe his light was out on his beach cruiser. Can't call it like an alcoholic. But here's some knowledge you can't get in college. He ends up going to a pad and telling, you know, some friends of mine, hey, guess what? Guess what? I just knocked this cop. I just knocked this cop. Now, whatever conversation they had, however she was feeling him, how he was able to go from a ticket to punching her ticket, well, I mean, that's just game. He had it like that, I guess, right? Damn. I guess he learned from the best. So he must have watched me when he was a kid. So anyways, he gets her number or whatever communication they do. This is all facts now. This is all truth, right? It sounds like a movie, but it's some real shit. Goes to the pad, tells the homeboy and homegirl, hey, look, I just got her. The homeboy's trying to give him advice. He's OG. He's like, hey, bro, look, watch out. You don't fuck her career up, bro. Don't get involved, right? Now, I myself, when I was an active homie, I would have been all the way up in involved in that shit, right? For one or two reasons. One, I'm going to get me some of that. I need me a torta, right? And for two, hey, if I could always facilitate some type of correspondence between what they got going on, what I got going on, and figure out, you know, if I can get some help, then I'm going to go ahead and do that, right? We were always encouraged as homies, you know, if we can fucking get something going for us, that's going to help us, you know, either monetarily or any other way, homie, run that fast, bitch, right? And that's just what that was. So anyways, time moves on, and I guess he starts to have some type of relationship with this woman. Again, I say, it's not against the law for her to be doing that. It's just against the moral compass of what she should be doing, right? So about a couple months ago, I don't know if the cops got told something, if they got put up on game, but they were watching this guy. This guy was actually on the monitor. Like I said, he did time in Pelican Bay. He was considered active. And for whatever reason, they were focusing on him. He had been involved in a lot of raids and a lot of different things, but for some reason, he was always able to wiggle. Now, I know what you're saying and what you're thinking. When Vatos are able to wiggle like that, they must be doing some underhand bullshit with the police, right? But that's not always the case. Sometimes you just get lucky in the game, but your luck will run out. When you're actively gangbanging out there and you're in the mix, it's only a matter of time before your name gets spoken on, someone gives up the ghost, and your luck runs out. It happens all the time. and back to the prison you will go, right? So anyways, they raid his spot. Now, let me tell you guys about his spot, because this ain't put out there. It wasn't his spot. It was for the street spot. He was living in an abandoned house, right? He had got put out of where he was living. People just couldn't take his movement. You know, he was getting on one a little bit, going here and there. And the homies, you know, that he was staying with decided that for no other reason, hey, homie, you got to do a Michael McDonald and be on your own with Patti LaBelle, because you can't be. And I understand that, man. I remember at one point, you know, I didn't have nowhere to live way back in the days. I was living with one of my tias. I wasn't really living there. I was using it as kind of like a closet, homie. I would leave all my clothes there. You know what it is when you're out there functioning in the streets with the homies? Hey, leave for 3 days. You're out there. You start smelling your sobacos. Okay, it's time for a shower. Finally. Dirtbag shit. I done boned like 6 different chicks and they don't even know it yet, right? And then I'll run to the house, eat whatever's there that my tia cooked, take a quick shower and sleep for an hour, a power hour, and bam, I'm gone again for a week. Eventually, your familia, whoever you're living with gets tired of it. Like, hey, Holmes, what do you think this is? A hotel? You don't pay no bills around here. You come, you use my fucking hot water, eat all my food and bounce? Nah, your fucking bullshit ass 3 pairs of pants you own, get the fuck out of here. It's happened to me plenty of times. And I would just go from one family member to one family member. Anyways, he was on that same level. Can't knock it, you know, like Rocket. Let's take it to the stage. So I understand exactly what he was doing. So anyways, he did some shit I would never do. See, me, they call me Mr. Knock-a-Bitch, right? I would have definitely just I would have took my little shower at the YMCA, slid my ass over to the local bar, and knocked me the fattest chick in there because, hey, she's going to pay like she weighs. Hey, by the end of that night, I went from a duffel bag, walking around homeless than a motherfucker, to, getting my feet massaged, eating fucking fried eggs. I'm living, right? There was no way that I was going out like that. But he decided that if for no other reason, he was going to move into a trap house, or what you would consider an abandoned home. You know how they do it nowadays? They hook up electricity, they steal the neighbor's shit. The neighbor's like, damn, my bill just went from $36 to $369. There you go. So he's living in this fucking abandoned house. Now, I'm pretty sure as a functioning homeboy, that's not looked upon in very righteously. I'm sure the homies were like, fuck, bro. Serio? The fuck is that, eh? Right there. It's a milk cart, eh? It's a milk crate. I got it from fucking Vaughn's, eh? Is that right? What is that right there? It's some chair I put out of the garbage over there behind Rite Aid, right? Fuck. So he was living rough, but he was living. Can't knock the hustle, or can you? And this chick who he's messing with, who is an actual police officer, cadet, she's already in, she's sworn in. They decide to do a raid for whatever reason, whether someone told or they got put up on game or whatever. So they kick in the door of this abandoned home and they find this active Norteno that I've known since he was a kid. Hey, right, you gave it to her. And this chick in bed together in an abandoned house, buck naked, doing the pretzel, right? Playing Twister all night. So as she's, doing her thing, putting on her little shit, because she just got the pretzelization done to her, the homie shit swinging. He's just standing up that motherfucker like, Norte, what? Huelga, right? And this must make the officers upset, highly mad, right? So, of course, it's shameful for the woman, but it's not illegal. Like I said, they're going to look at her like, man, didn't you offer to go on a date with me just last Friday? She's looking at him like, but you ain't got the northern chorra. See, the northern chorra hits different. They always tell me that. I know, because I boned a lot of chicks. Anyway, so whatever. Hey, it's kind of embarrassing for the police department. It's embarrassing for her. But bygones will be bygones. She can live, man. Ain't nothing crazy about that, right? But here's the cold kicker. So, upon looking through the phones or whatever's there, they find pipes and dope and whatever allegedly they say they found. They place him under arrest for violation of his parole or probation. And of course, man, they're going to do what they can because they're mad. How the fuck is this gang member, this active gang member who they're watching for various crimes, sleeping with one of their officers? Well, here's the cool part. They look through her phone and they see communication between the two where allegedly she was giving up info. They're saying, this is what the arresting officers say, that there was communication and correspondence between them in text messages where she was giving them game, right? Basically telling them about investigations or whatever. Hey, look, I can't stamp that and say that's truth. I think somewhere along the line, I think it could have possibly happened. I know I would have been trying to get it, right? But I'm not going to rain on the homies parade and saying that was the case. So that gets put out there to the media. The media runs wild on it, right? That's where it pops up on Facebook, online. My homegirl tells me about it. My homeboy tells me about it. I see it. I'm like, wow, right? I see another content creator speak on it. But I was like, man, the intimate connection that I have, just knowing this kid since he was little, he's part of the familia. I consider him my nephew. I've always liked him, man. I remember I used to work and I used to get these big old bags of candy, and his whole familia used to come over and I used to give him big old bags of Reese's Cups and all that, man. He was a little kid. You feel bad for the baby kids, the kids in the hood. It's not that their parents ain't doing right by them. It's just, sometimes you have it like that. And when you come from the ghetto and you don't got it, if I got it, I'm going to give it to you. It's just how I've always been. Anyways, Back to the Future. He's boning cops, right? I ain't mad at him. So now this cop's in trouble. So she gets placed on administrative leave, right? Man, she can't fucking be in the mix no more. This is all just happened. Now a report surfaces I was able to get my hands on. And in this report, man, they're trying to say that the homie was a CI, a confidential informant this whole time. This whole time. Now, what do you guys think they're doing? So I got my opinion on what they're doing. First of all, they're mad. They're upset. Who wouldn't be? That's like when my homegirls used to bone Southsiders. I used to be upset. What the fuck you doing, eh? Do you see that? He's cool. He has LA right here. Yeah, but then the bars with the dots. What does that mean? That means you're taking showers, what that means, right? Before I even touch you. Take 2 showers for the Norte, right? So I understand how you feel. You're like, damn, bro, I don't even want to fuck with that skunk anymore. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, I'm over there with Surenia. I was like, show, right? Young G's in the hood tried to come up, doing my thing. So straight hypocrite shit. That's just what gangbanging was back in our days. We didn't give a fuck. Hey, we'll tell you, hey, don't fuck with them dudes. We'll tell the little homies, hey, the vatos a Dio, don't fuck with them. Call them, hey, well, fool, you want to come to the carne asada? Yeah, them little fuckers that were hitting you up, they ain't even going to be there. You know what I mean? That was just it. I know, selective politicking, that's how I played. I'm not saying everyone's like that. I'm not trying to make light of it. I'm just saying that's what I did. Favoritism, homie favoritism in real life. So anyways, this chick, she's on administrative leave. The little homie's caught up, and now they're running stories that he's a fucking CI, confidential informant, for those of you that don't know. Basically, they're saying he's been working with the police, not that the police has been working with him, or that he's been working them, and then she's working with him. So either this is one or two things. A way to clean it up for that chick so she doesn't get in trouble, or a way to defecate on his character, defamation of character on his name, because they're feeling some type of way about him. Now they're mad. And they know that the best thing to do with an active Norteno, active gay member period, is to smut their name up in the streets so that they get fucked off, right? So that their career's over. Now, whether the little homie, and look, I know his whole familia, okay? One thing I can say about his family, and this is righteous, for reals. I know all his tios, his tias, shit, fucking, I got kids that are involved in his family. He's my daughter's primo. Facts, right? I got a daughter from his prima. Facts. None of the family are ratas. They've never been involved in that. They've been involved in crime, prison, gang banging, all that shit. I wouldn't, believe me, I used to be like, damn, we're gang related around this motherfucker. Even the kids' birthday parties, the balloons had XIV on them. So I'm just saying, it was that type of family, and I got nothing bad to say about them. They're good people. They've always done me right. So I'm not going to sit here and wolf on them at all. Not whatsoever, not period. Because I respect them. But at the same time, I never knew them to be ratas and confidential informants. None of that bullshit. So what they're saying about this kid, I can't stamp that. I can't say that I think it's so. I think they're just trying to smut his name up. And I wanted to put this out there because, hey, don't be mad at it because he was giving her honey love. Because she liked the R. Kelly shit. A little agua of the yellowest sort on her forehead. It just is what it is. And don't be mad at her for wanting some of that thug love. You can't be upset with her. Because the homie knocked her. Hey, because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? When they're up north in Northern California, they all want a Norteño. And that's just what it is. Just like the chicks down south, they all want a Southerner. It's facts. There's a black dude like, what about blacks? They all want blacks. Like, yeah, we know. All right? It's just the way it is. Anyways, I wanted to tell that story. It's funny, man. Someone got in my DMs the other day. They're like, damn, bro, you know everybody. I do. It's a fucking, I don't ask for this shit. It's just in your life, you'll start to notice, man. And a trip out, yesterday I was on TikTok, and my old bunkie, my old cell, it was my bunkie because we were in the gym in prison. He got a hold of me. He was like, damn, bro, is that you? What's head? And I was like, let's do an interview. Ooh, let's, you know what I mean? So you can stamp some of my stories I told. He's like, I got you. So I'm trying to work on that behind the scenes. Got some good shit coming up, content. Just wanted to put this out there. I got to double up a banger coming later on. I think you guys are going to appreciate. What do you guys think? Let me know. Do you think he's guilty or they're just trying to smut his name up? I think they're trying to smut him up. All of a sudden, he's a CI now. You know, all of a sudden when he's giving her chorra, something's wrong. No. Hey, he wasn't working with her. Allegedly, she was working with him. He was just working her. With that being said, I hope that you move forward with a purpose. Get everything that you want coming. And remember, at the end of the day, it's all about the strive to struggle, the struggle to strive. I'm going to continue to do what I does. Look into that story if you want. It's funny, man. But I know that kid. Like I said, man, since he was in fucking small little Ben Davises that his parents used to put on him. He comes from that. He's one of those kids, you know, where he used to wear the red Charlie Browns with the Mongolian, with the red banyo. At like the age of 6. It's crazy, huh? I've always said I would never do my kids like that. I would give my kids the freedom of choice to be what they want to be, man. I would never force them into that direction. But everybody's different. It doesn't mean they're bad parents. It just means they were unfocused on the priorities, you know? And we were all young and dumb, so I got to give them the pass. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle and strive for what I honestly, truly believe in, and that's providing you guys the best entertainment, the unity of all people, and nothing but an abundance of respect. Thank you guys so much, man, for your time. This is the gun. He was in there like, bang, bang, bang. She was in there like, can I read you your Miranda rights? I didn't know your name was Miranda.